Alright fellas, welcome back to the channel. So, today, we're going to do something different. We're not working on the lawnmowers, which are both right here. We are going to work this. So this is my car. We've been having a bunch of problems, so we'll go over here and talk. So the first issue that we've had with this car was around May, where we had a leaky water pump. So that was the first issue. This is like around May. We're in July now. It's the 2nd of July as I'm filming this. So we paid around $430 to get it fixed. We took it to Wright's Garage up in Girard on Route 20. So we thought that was fixed. But then the next day we had another. The radiator fans right there were coming on after I shut the car off. So that was the second issue. And that's around $70 to get it, well, $75 to be exact, to get it all fixed up. Again, we took it to Wright's Garage to figure it out. Now, the next day, as I'm driving down the road, I have a check engine light on, or a service light on. Not flashing, but a solid check engine light. If it's flashing, you really gotta get that taken care of. But luckily with this car, it's not. You don't need to worry about it, but you should get it taken care of. So anyway, we took it to AutoZone. If you guys can, if you have a check engine light, go to a auto parts store that offers free scanning, like AutoZone, for example. So we took it to AutoZone. They said it's cylinders 2 and 3 that are misfiring. So I bought these spark plugs and ignition coils. Got them off of OEM on eBay for around 40 bucks. So we're gonna try to fix this ourselves for 40 bucks. They're pretty easy to fix. I'll show you guys how to do 2 cylinders, because the other 2 are basically going to be the same thing. I'll show you guys how to fix that. And please ignore the fan. It is hot outside. Alright, so we got the hood up, and just so you know, this car's been sitting out here for about 3 hours. I worked till noon, and it's around 3:30 now. So it's been sitting out here for about 3 hours, so this shouldn't be a problem to try to fix this ourselves. So all we're going to do is we're going to pop this cover off, and let's get to it. Alright, so we got the top off. As you see, we got all that there. So what we're going to do first, before we start anything up, is we're going to blow all this out with compressed air so that nothing gets inside these coils, which are these 4 right here. So these 4 are going to replace. These are your spark plugs right there. So we're going to fix that, and yeah, let's blow this up with compressed air first. Alright, so we got all of it compressed out. This is the new ignition coil, and that's the one that's currently on the car. So let's go throw her on. Here's what it looks like between the 2, and you can see a massive difference there. So we took the first one out, at least the ignition coil. The plug, as you see, it's way down that hole. All you need is a 5/8 deep socket. There's a 8mm right here to take this off, and then the whole, and you have to take these off too. This is the same for all 4, and then the coil is going to plug right out. Again, there's a lot of YouTube videos online on how to do this, so just watch some videos first before you tackle this yourself. So, but spark plugs are pretty simple to do. We didn't have any WD-40 to spray down there, so we have to quickly run to O'Reilly Auto Parts and gave me 2 cans of these. So we spray some down in there, and all you have to do is wait about 5 minutes, and then we should be able to take the first one out, and then we'll look at what it's like in the car versus the one we got today. I just pulled the spark plug out of the first one, and that's what the difference is. You can see the gap's a little smaller there. So I just pulled it out using a 5/8 deep socket, and yeah, so this is what the new one looks like. So focus, that's the number there. We're gonna throw her in. Hopefully that's our problem. Alright guys, on to number 3. Here's the difference. I already did the first 2. Here's the difference. I see these look really dirty. To get to these 2, you're going to have to take this whole thing off. There's a couple of 7mm clamps on this side, and then there's one back in there out of all places. You can't even get the whole thing off, but just get it out of your way to where you can have access to these 2. And all you do, guys, is really simple. You have a couple 8mm bolts right there. You slide this down, and you should be able to just pull this off. Gotta do this with 2 hands. Hang on. Hi. Finally got her off. And then you have a 8mm right here. You loosen this up. This should just pop right out. All right, there's your 8mm bolt. We're gonna put it right there. And then this thing should just pop right off. So just pull right up on it. There you go. Now, again, we gotta get our 5/8 deep socket and stick it right through the sucker hole. Get her out of there. But first, you gotta give her some love right down that hole. Right there. Little love taps. Let's get her out of there. All right, time to pull her out, boys. Again, a 5/8. All right, once we're done doing this, we're gonna grab our torque wrench here, stick it right in that hole. Hang on. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna torque her down. So I torque them down to at least 10 foot-pounds. It said 106 inch-pounds, but I usually go to about 25 to be safe. So let's do that. All right, she's in there, and now we're gonna go in with our brand new ignition coil. Stuck it right in that hole. Be nice, take it nice and easy. You don't want to rush. Take it nice and easy. There we go. And then we're gonna plug in our 8mm bolt here. I don't have a socket, but we can use a wrench. Just get it wrist tight. All right, after we get her wrist tight, all you gotta do is you're gonna plug her right back into its place, and then slide in your ignition switch, and then you're good. 3 down. Let's do the last one and see if this fixed our issue. Oh, never mind. Number 1 right here is gonna be the same thing here. So all you're gonna do is just gonna pry this up with either a screwdriver. Hang on. Okay, we pry her up. So now all you gotta do is get another 8mm and tighten, loosen that up. All right, the coil's out. You know we gotta give her some love. There we go. All right, boys. So here's all 4 of our plugs that are pulled out of the car. See, those have a little oil. These are 3 and 4 cylinders, and here's our plugs. All 4 of them came in like this, and they come in pre-gap. So as you see here, there's a little bit of a difference between a couple of these. So these came pre-gap, and we're gonna throw this last one in, and let's cross our fingers. All right, number 4 is on. Look at that, they look brand spanking new. We already got the air intake hose back on. It goes right in there. So it's all back in. We're just gonna put everything back together, and let's see if it fixes it, or hopefully fix our problem. All right, guys, we're in the car. The key's in the car. Well, the truth here. Looks like we're still on, but maybe if I drive it around a little bit, we'll be in good shape. But it fired up much better. But let's turn her off. Let's turn her off, and let's see if she has issues again when I try to start it up again. The engine light is still on, but it's firing up a lot better. Alright, fellas, as you can see, I'm dirty. I've been outside for a couple hours replacing plugs. But we went for a little drive to get food, and I went through the drive-thru. You guys don't want to come at me because I am wearing the same clothes. But I will say that the car drove a lot better, because on the way home sometimes I have to like put a little more throttle to it, and it could be a plug issue or something. But it was driving better, so maybe tomorrow we'll try to disconnect the battery and leave it a little longer this time and see if that clears the light, and if not, we'll go through something else. But alright, guys, it's been a couple days since I put the plugs and coils in my car, and so the next morning after I put the plugs in, I was driving up a hill, and the coolant over temp light came on my dash. I'll pop a picture right over here because this happened the first time also with my car, where they put in a new water pump, and that came back on again, and it's just so much has been going on with my car. And then we left it at Giant Eagle where I work in the parking lot. I just parked it in the corner for a couple days, and then we tried to drive it home, and then this happened.
Yeah.
Hi. I can smell it.
Yeah, you leave it running a minute after we get it here because you're pushing it right under. Okay. Maybe give it a little gas.
Is it popping out?
Yeah, it's coming out. It's good. Yeah, that's no good. Okay.
Alright, I'm going to start it off here.
Alright.
Yeah, smoke is coming out of the exhaust. So we put in more coolant. When we opened up the coolant reservoir, there was coolant coming out of the engine where it's popping, smoking a little bit and coming out of the engine. So it's something in the engine, I think, and it's probably going to need a new engine. So unfortunately, that's it for my car. My Escape that you guys know I had was my first car. Everything was going fine with that until I hit a deer. And I guess running over a deer started all this nonsense. So my AC is on, so y'all gotta deal with it. But anyway, that's it. I'm gonna be parting ways with that car. Gonna trade in for another one, hopefully with a better record down the line. So, anyways, that's gonna be it, fellas. For real this time. Just want to tell you guys what's been going on. And yeah, I'll see you all later in my next video. Peace.